Well, welcome to another YouTube video, and it's a bit of a messy morning. We are out in Joburg on the launch of the all-new Suzuki Dzire. Wow, that's how people pronounce it, but it's actually pronounced Desire. So this is an all-new model. This is the 4th generation model, but interestingly, to South Africa, it's the 3rd generation. So we obviously didn't get 1 generation, but this is the 4th generation model, and this is everything you need to know about it. So from a looks perspective, I think Suzuki has definitely gotten it right. So if I'm honest, it's not the best looking car, but it's also not the worst looking car. I mean, it's okay. And I think we need to remember what the application of the car will be, and it'll most likely be used for e-hailing such as Ubers and Bolts. So I think for the most part, it'll definitely cover the bases from a looks perspective. So up front, you get a decent looking front end with a new headlight design. It looks fairly okay. You don't get daytime running lights, unfortunately, but I think it does look pretty decent. No fog lights either, which is kind of, a bit sucky. But moving over to the back, I think the back end does look pretty neat. The tail lamps are like darkened, which is quite nice. So I really do like it. It's got like an LED effect as well, so that's quite cool. Moving over inside, it's basically any other Suzuki that you may be familiar with. So you've got the very familiar infotainment system, which we get on the likes of the Baleno and other models. The steering wheel is straight out of a Swift, so everything is familiar. So that's quite nice. So if you are used to the Suzuki brand, then you will not feel out of place jumping into this Dzire. But overall, I think the interior is quite nicely well laid out. You get some niceties such as climate control, which is quite cool. You get physical buttons. You get 2 cup holders in the front, which is quite nice. You get a USB-A charging port and 2 USB-C charging ports towards the rear, which is also quite cool. Cup holders, which are big enough for medium-sized bottles. And overall, I think the cabin is quite spacious. I've been sitting in the back seat as well before jumping into the front seat, the driver's seat, and it's also quite spacious there. More than enough headroom, more than enough legroom. Footroom is very decent, so I am really impressed by that. But I don't know, I just feel like this beige interior is a bit of a miss for me. And I say that mostly because if we were looking at the application that this car will be used for, it'll mostly be either Ubers or small families. And cloth beige seats for either application, for me, sounds a bit like a mess. I mean, I can't imagine after like 20, 30, 40,000 kilometers how these seats will be looking. And Suzuki has told us that they won't be bringing in a different color scheme for the interior. So this beige that you see is literally all that you'll be getting. So yeah, my thoughts on that are that it's not probably the best move, but hey, this is what we have. So yeah, I guess let's just make best with what we do get. So under the bonnet up front, you get a very familiar naturally aspirated engine. It produces 60 kilowatts and 112 Newton meters of torque. You get the choice of 2 transmissions, a 5-speed manual that we're in currently, or a CVT. This manual feels pretty decent. I mean, it drives just like any other Suzuki model, so that's quite fine. It is a 3-cylinder, which I think I experienced just now merging onto a highway from the shoulder of the road, and it does run out of steam quite quickly, especially when you're trying to get up to speed. Can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing. I don't know. For fuel consumption, obviously, it does mean that it sips very little fuel, but from a day-to-day perspective, I mean, if you're having to zip around town very quickly, it may be a bit of a problem. You might find that it does feel a tad underpowered. So again, it all comes back to the application that you'll be using it in. But fuel consumption is claimed at about 4.5 odd liters, which is really impressive. And I think it's very easy to achieve that in a car like this. Well, most Suzukis, to be fair. So that is definitely going to be a big benefit to small families or even e-hailing providers. So from a price perspective, this is how much you can expect to pay for the range. There are three models rather. The entry-level GA model, and these are its key features and what it has. And then you get the GL Plus model, which comes in a manual or a CVT, and these are the features that you get on those models, or that model rather. But I'm keen to know, I personally think that it's definitely well priced, and it goes up against the likes of the Hyundai Grand i10 sedan, the likes of the Kia Pegasus, although it does have a bigger 1.4 engine, and the likes of the Honda Amaze. So I'm keen to know, out of those cars, which of them would you guys buy? But I personally think that it's definitely well priced. I think Suzuki does a great job at always undercutting their key competitors across different models in their lineup. So as always, they really do a great job when it comes to pricing. But as always, I'm keen to hear what your guys' thoughts are. So let me know down in the comments. Would you buy this Suzuki Dzire for your e-hailing business, or would you buy it for personal and family use? Let me know down in the comments. But that is it from me and this video, and I will catch you guys on the next one. So keep it locked. See you guys soon. Cheers.